All right, everyone. So we're here doing a round of 16 review for TSDL season, I don't actually know, 11, 10, something like that. I'll have it right in the title. So this is a game between Absoul and Maddie spelled backwards. So Absoul on the left, Maddie on the right. Let's get this started. So let's see. Box composition on both sides. We have almost kind of a pretty standard box from Absoul. The one interesting thing here is the Jugler. Usually you just see people do Rosin, Sissy, Hilda on these kind of aggressive style boxes. Jugler's really not shown up at all for a while. So that's actually a bit of an interesting pick to bring. But it is pretty helpful against any AoE that might be happening, which there's not a lot on Maddie's side. I mean, you got Clotaire. Jugler's pretty good at stopping Clotaire from killing your entire team. Not amazing against Kruger, but like okay, I guess. And then beyond that is kind of, he's there. He'll throw a 3C out at some point and do something. Beyond that is just kind of your standard. Plenty of assassins, right? 4 assassins here, 5 assassins here. Is there a noteworthy one missing? Looks like no. So it's just the 4 that we all know and love, and the new friend lost them. And then a variety of other single target units. So just kind of your standard, fairly aggressive single target box with some assassination pressure. Pretty much what the meta has been for the past season or two. Himiko here is a nice anti-assassin tech that you see quite a few of these boxes use, right? Very annoying to actually assassinate, and then AoEs are nice. Maddie's side, pretty similar composition, big changes. There's no Sissy on this side, which is kind of a big deal. Sissy is a very nice unit to have just because she's so compressed. She really lets you do this one tank thing with Hilda without fearing punishment. Because if they ban your Hilda, you still have Sissy as a tank. If they ban your Rosin, you still have Sissy as a healer. She's not great as either, but she can do both, and that's pretty nice. Beyond that, it's just kind of your assortment of single target things, right? Elwyn. Helena's kind of a mix between single target and AoE, but you've got Ironblood here. So just kind of your generic meta units. Assassin-wise, it looks like there's only 3 over here, so that is kind of a big deal, right? Missing Werner, missing Lostum compared to Absoul. In exchange, Maddie has a lot more AoE damage, so we'll see if that ends up paying out. Jugler makes that a little bit awkward, though, if you're trying to get a payout from AoE damage. So we'll just see what happens in pick ban. Wetem bans are pretty reasonable. Yeah, if you're not really planning on picking a tank at any point, it's more just like if you end up with a tank, that's kind of cool, I guess. Ironblood pick, yep. Ironblood is just an incredible booster. If you're gonna run all these assassins, Ironblood just makes them all go from like sometimes okay, sometimes missing kills, to just unbelievable. The movement boost, the damage boost, it's just can't really be, oh, I'm in the way of this box, haha. Right, camera. Yeah, that's the box that I was talking about before for Maddie. A little bit of AoE, a little bit of assassin. More of a mixed box than what Absol's doing. Absol's pretty heavy on single target. Now we got people joining in chat. Hello. But yeah, as I was saying, Ironblood, very nice for any kind of assassin-oriented gameplay. Just makes all of your assassins killing machines. They'll never miss, basically. And that extra 2 movement means you don't have to rely on Breeze, which is great, because why have a 70% chance to lose the game? I wouldn't be surprised if Maddie mirrored this with his own Ironblood. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now neither side has a particular mobility advantage. Infantry Ironblood's a bit of an interesting choice. We'll see how that plays out. There's the Epsilon pick, Epsilon banned over here, so it's not getting picked. Yeah, just getting rid of these assassins before Ironblood makes them too overwhelming. Kyra, Epsilon, kind of like the two big names to see beside Ironblood, right? Epsilon's just a fantastic unit, like at all stages of the game. And then Kyra with Sorks with the Ironblood boost just kills everything. They just all die. It's so hard to actually tank Kyra if she's got Ironblood boost. Goodbye, Hilda. The assassins would like to crit. Elwyn, obnoxious to kill. Makes sense if your opponent played an assassin. Goodbye, healers. And we do see Kruger. Okay. So Maddie's going to try and get some value out of the fact that he doesn't have as much assassin pressure here, right? Get some value out of these AoE units. Maybe get some good debuffs with Kruger. Could be a little bit hard. Actually, Ironblood's a really good target for Kruger Virus, right? Kruger 3C on Ironblood is pretty useful because she has to be near teammates to use her boost. That's not going to be as relevant after the first turn. So like being player 2 here makes it a lot weaker because you can't get it on guaranteed before Ironblood does something. But it's still useful. And then Kruger's also just an incredibly irritating unit. If this is running Dropnir, which there's no reason not to. I've said it before when I'm streaming and when I'm playing, there's literally no reason not to run Dropnir on Kruger. No other accessory is like useful. The only close thing is Vidar's, but So just run Dropnir. Just run Dropnir, have Warlocks, have a decent amount of HP, and then Assassins kill themselves. It's fantastic. Why do anything else? So that's probably what this Kruger's going to try and do, is if Epsilon ever goes and hits him at 3 range, Epsilon probably just dies. Could be Thorns as well, but that's kind of more of a meme. You really don't need Thorns most of the time. Getting rid of some of these difficult to assassinate targets. Picks up the Jugglor. So Jugglor here, so the AoE damage part of Kruger is not that big a deal. The debuffs are still kind of obnoxious. Kruger also has access to acid burns for heal block. So Jugglor's not amazing. He'll do fine, but he's not amazing. At the same time, you don't really need Werner this game. Himiko could be good, but you're kind of leaving a lot of AoE in the back here. So Himiko probably a little bit suspect to pick. So it's kind of like, what else are you going to do at this point? You don't really need to put your opponent on a clock with a Boro because they're already coming at you anyways, right? A Boro in these style of boxes is very nice for if someone tries to do something, if someone tries to play slowly against you, you can really force them to engage because they got to deal with the Oboro somehow. And most people do not appreciate a 4-stack Oboro just running around killing things. So he's very nice at prompting a box that just wants to kind of camp out on the other side of the map into actually interacting with you. So that's why you see him in both of these boxes, right? They both have that where it's like, hey, I'm going to have a Boro. If you're playing something slow, you either have to ban a Boro or you have to actually come do something to me, right? But yeah, not really relevant in this game. Maddie's already running full speed at him, so that's not really necessary. Goodbye, Hilda. Not really. I wonder if that Hilda is actually a... I wonder if that's the correct ban. Because you could ban Werner Himiko here. What were the bans? Yeah, it was Werner or Boro. If you banned Werner Himiko, he's probably picking... I feel like Absoul picks a Boro there. Because Hilda just kind of doesn't do anything at this point. Ironblood boosted Kyra can probably still kill things. Definitely can still kill Epsilon without crit. Maybe not Ironblood though. Maybe not Ironblood. So Hilda feels kind of weak here, since there's already another tank, and there's not a way to just like insta kill this Jugglor either. So I would have been tempted to ban the Himiko here. Unless you're planning on picking Rosin, but I mean, if Absol's going to pick Himiko, he's going to ban Rosin first, unless you're picking Rosin right now, which is definitely not the pick. We'll see if that is relevant. I would expect Absol to pick Himiko here, though. I guess you have a Kyra for some healing, but even still. Oboro over here is very nice. Oh, it actually is Oboro pick because he leaves the rosin open. Okay. So yeah, we have Oboros on both sides, just kind of, again, forcing interaction. Definitely safer here on Absoul's side with the Jugler behind him. Still dead to Kyra though, so yeah. Can't be too greedy with it. God, what do you pick here? Clotaire, Rosin? Neither are amazing. Probably Clotaire. You can deny Elwyn revive at the very least. Maybe you can find an angle to hit people without hitting Jugler and actually get some damage in. At the very worst, he's, you know, strong single target magic. Nope, it's the Rosin pick. Does Rosin block anything though? Just this. I don't know if I agree with that Rosin pick. That might be, this Rosin might end up being a liability. Buffs the Iron Blood, but that's not relevant. Yeah, I feel like this Rosin's gonna be kind of weak this game. We'll find out. Okay, now I need to... Actually, this is probably an okay spot for me to hang out. Yeah, I'll just stay here. Oh, we got the Jugler skin. Yep, there it is. Alright, let's see. So, Full Moon Oboro, pretty standard. Very nice bulk on this Oboro. A little bit low on the defense, but eh. Iron Blood, Elwyn. This is not a Swordsmith Elwyn. It's also not Twilight Star. So I don't know what accessory this Elwyn is. What do you run if you're not running Twilight Star? I guess just any generic attack accessory is fine. Epsilon doing Epsilon things. And then we have a whole bunch of Lancer troops over here because there's an Elwyn on the other side and you don't have a tank. That all is fine. This Oboro is squishy. So this is a magic Oboro, which a lot of these kind of rush box Oboros are. Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee this is magic from the HP, how low the HP is, how low the defense is. So the whole point of Magic Oboro is like, you transform at some point, you maybe take a kill, and then you let someone kill you. You get a little bit of counterattack damage, and then they kill you and trigger your talent with 100% boosted damage, and they just die. That's kind of the whole gimmick there for Magic Oboro, is you just insta-kill someone whenever they try to go after you. Kyra, probably True Cross, which isn't going to be great this game. But let's see how things start out. With a Jugler here, I would expect, since this has already happened, Kruger Virus probably onto Jugler is the best move. Maybe you don't start with that, but I think that's where it ends up going. Yep, Iron Blood's just boost on both sides first. That makes sense. Actually, this Kruger is not Warlock, so Epsilon is always safe attacking into him. 10k HP. Oh boy, that's not a lot of HP. This might not be drop near either at that point, because 10k HP drop near is not going to reflect very much. Yeah, Jugler moved up and did not click Triton. I guess there's no physical damage anyways. So there's no physical damage other than Oboro, who's not attacking you anytime soon. No one cares about this Jugler. So this Jugler gets to do just kind of whatever he wants. Because the enemy team doesn't care what he does. Right, so he can jump in whenever he wants. He doesn't have to worry about really protecting the team at all because there's nothing to protect. The Boros start staring at each other. So there's Miracle. Is Kyra in range of something from here? Just Jugler. So just zoning with the Kyra, making sure that nothing actually moves up here. Because it will very much die to Miracle Kyra. To Miracle Iron Blood Kyra. Yep, as expected, the virus goes on to Jugler, just waiting for, waiting specifically for Epsilon to move here, since that's the easiest way that Absoul has to actually kill this Kruger. Right, it's Epsilon and Iron Blood will both insta-kill Kruger here. So waiting to see their ranges and then keeping Kruger just outside. Elwyn is free to do whatever Elwyn pleases. He's going to lose a life for this, but I don't think Absoul cares because he's going to kill Kyra in exchange. He actually doesn't even lose a life. Okay. I believe that means that Kyra is actually out of his range here. Yeah, Kyra's out of his range. Yep, Kyra's out of his range. There's no reasonable target for Elwyn to go for, so he just backs off rather than getting himself killed for no reason. Was willing to trade a life on Elwyn for Kyra, but that didn't work out, so away he goes. Nothing lost. Okay, Perma Breeze on him. I guess he has Iron Blood boost, so that actually doesn't matter. Tenya's Breeze here is nice. You had the boost anyways, so there's not a huge difference between boost and Breeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does let you hit the Oboro. That's actually kind of nice. I think you were already able, yeah, you were already very able to hit Epsilon no matter what. So Kruger can go in here and like do some AoEs. He dies for it, so he might not want to. Oh, he does want to. He's gonna go up top where he's out of range of Iron Blood. Yeah, makes sense. Or maybe not. That should still be in range of Iron Blood. All right, we get a heal block on Elwyn. That's very nice. Take the attack buff off of Epsilon is huge. That means that Epsilon's not touching you. Iron Blood can very much kill this. But overall, that's a pretty good Kruger 3C. Right? Really hurts the Elwyn here. This is gonna take a while to come back because he has to wait for the silence to wear off before he can do anything at all. Heal block on Jugler, not really relevant. Goodbye, Kruger. Exclusive, gonna convert a few more buffs. Does miss the faction buff here though, which is very unfortunate for Maddie. Right, faction buff, stripping the faction buff here would just completely cripple the Epsilon forever. Now it's kind of like, you traded Kruger away. Trading Kruger away shuts down your Kyra, which is pretty bad. You didn't really... Oh, you did silence the Epsilon. So Epsilon's out of the game for a couple turns, probably, until his exclusive is able to dispel some of this stuff. Elwyn's out of the game for a couple turns. Oboro's out of the game for a couple turns because he's Oboro. And then Iron Blood is here. You might be able to pick off the Iron Blood. No attack. No attack buff is pretty bad. Could use this skill to get attack buff, but then you kind of cripple your own Iron Blood. Not a fantastic spot for Maddie. There's no way that kills. With the crit, it might have. Missed crit, though. Not going to cut it. That is the unfortunate reality of Sork's Kyra, is sometimes that crit just does not happen. Even with Holy. Where are you? What? That was a jump. Jumping to get Magic Guard. Is there... There is second assassin skill here. Magic Guard protects against the Iron Blood herself, I guess. Fixed immunity, not super relevant. Both these Oboros set up in a way that they could only stack to 3, which is interesting. More relevant for Maddie than for Absoul. Absoul doesn't have a tank to begin with. Oh, Magic Guard is for Iron Blood. For some reason, I thought that Iron Blood was only moving 2. That's my bad. Yeah, so down goes Jugler. Again, Jugler didn't really matter, so that's not a big loss. Yep, clock. Silence still here, means that Absol's not doing anything. Maddie has turn priority. This is probably just a dead Epsilon next turn. Can he get away? He cannot get away. So yeah, this is probably just dead Epsilon at the start of the turn. Going for it. And away he goes. Problem with this is it's now essentially like Epsilon versus Kyra. Or not Epsilon. It's like Elwyn Ironblood versus Kyra, which is not a great matchup for Kyra because her allies are already dead. right? Like, this is very, very much dead. Oboro is just going to pop his transform here, hit it with a basic attack. Elwyn will finish it off. If it lives the Oboro attack at all. Oboro could use a skill here if he really feels like it too. Yeah, goes ahead and uses the skill just to guarantee the kill. Proc shouldn't save her. Not from 1800 attack, Oboro. No, goodbye. Those aren't exactly bulky troops either. So now the Oboros are on the field, which is a problem for both sides. That being said, Absoul's Oboro is a good bit stronger here. So Maddie might run into some issues here. Now, if the Oboros attack each other, they both die, though. That's almost always the case. So everyone just kind of positioning around Oboro ranges, around Elwyn ranges. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for Fog to close in and force some engagements here before anyone's going to do anything. Little bit too far away from each other. Oh, Oboro going for Iron Blood. That should be free. Clicks the 3C there, it looks like. Yep. Not quite enough to pick off the Elwyn. I think he was really hoping to get this Elwyn. Because if you get a life on the Elwyn, then when Elwyn comes in and kills you, he also dies. As well, maybe. The hope is that Elwyn also dies when he comes in and kills you. From just the talent bomb. But with the revive now, Elwyn is fine. This is just a dead Oboro for nothing. Yeah, so Elwyn doesn't die to that. That's not surprising that Elwyn doesn't die to that, but again, that's kind of that's what you're playing for at this point is Elwyn dying to this, because I mean Kyra's just doing nothing this game. 3 move 4 range is not really relevant against 6 move 3 range against Elwyn. Rosin's completely worthless as expected. And that's game 1. So we go into game 2, we see some backup changes. So backup changes here. Clotaire out for Maddie, Archon in. So again, this Jugler kind of really messed with the AoE plan that Maddie had as kind of like a side option. But Jugler just existing kind of made that not really relevant. So Clotaire goes out, Archon in. Archon can get completely shut down if Absoul gets an early Hilda pick. But we could just see an early Hilda ban. I don't think this box ever first picks Hilda. I think it always first picks Iron Blood if she's open. On Absoul's side, we have Sissy comes out and Himiko comes out, bringing in Leanna and Mariandel. Leanna coming in is an act again for player 2, although taking out Sissy, so same number of actions as before. Mariandel instead of Himiko, so you have a little bit more healing, a little bit less offense, a little bit less durable in front of assassins, maybe figuring that he's going to get a tank again, right? That this box really doesn't care too much about banning tanks. So he'll probably end up with a tank again, get a little bit of healing behind that tank, maybe try and make it a little more useful than it was last game, where it just took a hit. But at the same time, taking a hit was all that Jugler needed to do. So we will see. We will see. Yeah, I think that's all to talk about there. Let's see what they do in pick ban. yttaM ban from Absoul again, probably mirrored on Maddie's side. Yeah. So I know I don't have a lot of experience playing these kind of aggressive boxes, so I guess yttaM's probably a pretty huge problem for them. But I almost wonder if Iron Blood's worse, because yttaM's 1 bad unit. Iron Blood is 3 bad units, right? yttaM's 1 unit that you have to deal with that can jump on you from anywhere and be a huge problem. But Iron Blood always feels like she's three units that do the same thing, that can jump on you from anywhere and just be a huge problem. So I wonder if these yttaM bans are actually correct. Again, I don't know these boxes as well as these players do. So they probably have a little bit more experience, have played against yttaM more, and know that, yes, yttaM is actually so much of a problem that they need to first ban it. And then they're both going to first pick Ironblood, because what else are you going to do? Lucretia Kyra bans, yep. Just, again, some of the strong units in the box. We'll probably see a couple assassins take a dip over here. Actually, no, does ban out both tanks. Okay. So both tanks banned makes these healers feel pretty bad. They're not really going to be healing anything unless it's exactly Kruger. Everyone else is just going to kill you. So that's a little bit awkward for Absoul. Azusa pick. Azusa very, very good with Ironblood boost. Actually bans out the Kruger as well, which is kind of the one thing these three healers can address. So like that just... banning that Kruger means that you never touch these healers if you're Maddie. Absol's never going to pick them, and then eventually you just ban the Leanna on your last section of bans, and then he doesn't have the act again, and he's left with these healers that aren't really helpful. So same way that Maddie had a Rosin that was pretty much dead weight last game, I think Absol's going to end up with a kind of dead weight Rosin or Mariandel. T-Jess pick. T-Jess for teleports. So lots of mobility on Maddie's side. This Zeus is going to just go all over the place and be a real pain to get rid of. Zeus is one of those units, if you can get her in position correctly, you're basically guaranteed 2 kills. Because if you come in at the end of the turn, kill something, you now have either hard or soft. So you have one of your 2 unique buffs, one of your 2 talent buffs, and then whatever attacks you breaks your shield. You go to your turn, start of the turn, hit something else, you get another kill, maybe. At that point you don't have troops, so you have to go for something a little bit squishy. Your kill potential is not going to be great, but you potentially get another kill, get the other buff that you need, go back to 100%, get your shield back, something has to break the shield again. So very, very annoying is player 1, Azusa. And then with Ironblood boost behind her, with the T-Jess teleporting her around, this unit's going to be very, very good. Assassins take a dip. Just getting rid of the most mobile assassins here. As Epsilon gets picked. Right, trying to make sure, Maddie's trying to make sure that they have the jump on Absol here. Archon's one of those units, he really needs this movement buff to function. He's really good once he has the movement buff, but if he doesn't have a movement buff, he feels pretty bad. So if you know that your opponent's going to like guarantee you get Ironblood, right, you're going to guaranteed have a first pick Ironblood, Archon makes a lot of sense in the box. As just a, incredibly mobile, obnoxious to kill assassin. Right, again, he has a revive. Same kind of thing as Azusa, just really, really irritating to actually get off the field for your opponent after you've run in and gotten your free kill. Yep, you probably just grab a Boro here, right? Again, Roz is not doing anything. Exactly what I mentioned before, by the way. Last ban Leanna, leave the 2 healers. You don't care about these units. Werner pick is nice. Werner's plenty of damage. If you get the Archon out of water, Werner can one-shot him. But good luck. So that's probably not relevant. Yeah, and just Oboro because why would you pick Rosin? And then Mariandel because why would you pick Rosin? So yeah, this Mary's probably going to feel really weak this game if I had to guess. Especially against how mobile this box is. Pirate Raiders. Don't think I've ever seen anyone bring these. They're not the most aggressive. They are fairly bulky, I suppose. And it's not like anything here is particularly bulky to tank them. Maybe Ironblood, but probably not. There's no defensive buffs on this side. Yeah, almost certainly not. I would expect this to be 6-star, yeah. That Azusa should be fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. 5-star Azusa. Okay, so you don't get full HP with Azusa, which can be bad. The other thing Azusa needs to watch out for here is double Holy Azusa versus Lucretia. If Lucretia clicks 3C on you, you die. This isn't a Twilight Star, so it might not actually be guaranteed, because you get to keep your 100% HP reduction on monks. But I think you still just die. Because 3C here is effective against holy units and then drops your defensive stats. And at that point, Sorks themselves just do so much damage that they will just kill your Azusa, shield or no shield. So you do have to be a little bit careful, right? Licorice is kind of your one true counter that stops you from just running all over and abusing shield. Lucretia and stuns are the two things that you cannot deal with as an Azusa. Those are the two things to very much watch out for, because they will both just kill you. So they're teleporting forward just outside of Lucretia's range. Yep. And just outside of Ironblood's range. So yeah, nothing can hit this Azusa. She can wait, see where this team moves to, and then engage. She can engage right now, though that's probably not a great option, right? You really want this to go in with turn priority. So go in as the last action and then start your next turn and try to get a second kill. So I'd be a little bit surprised if this went in immediately. That being said, this teleport was already a little bit odd. I would have expected at least a Boro to waste his turn first. Right, give more of these units a chance to move around a little bit, figure out where your priority targets are ending up before you actually jump in here. Maybe Maddie's trying to catch this Epsilon out, though. That's really the only thing that I can think of, is that the only way for Epsilon to avoid this is to hide, and right now his hide, the places he can hide is forward or up. Because all these other units haven't kind of moved out of the way yet. So maybe you're trying to catch Epsilon, force him into a bad position by threatening to just kill him immediately. But I still don't know if that's worth it. Well, Epsilon is going to move forward and hide. Moving forward into a position where he can also pick off T-Jess at the next turn, which is nice. Alright, this box does not have any check to Epsilon whatsoever. Epsilon hides, and you had to just kind of look at that and go, yeah, that happened. Yep, so going in near the end of the turn. Ooh, gets reflected. A lot of damage there. Should heal most of it back. Yep. I wonder if you wanted to kill Ironblood instead. No, you cannot kill Ironblood here. Yeah, so Absoul leaves Ironblood. Absoul leaves Ironblood having not acted here, because this guarantees that Azusa will never target Ironblood. So Ironblood is one of, if not his most valuable unit here. So he really wants to keep this alive. If you do not move this, and Azusa kills it, that gives turn priority over to Maddie. Maddie gives turn priority over to Absoul. I was pointing the right way. Which just gives Lucretia a free kill at the start of the turn. Right? And then you don't get your double with the Azusa that you're looking for. So by leaving Ironblood for last, you guarantee that this will never go after Ironblood. Instead, it goes after your not useful at all Mariandel. So Mariandel's dead. Who cares? Now you still have Ironblood. You can hit this, get a little bit of damage into it, try to deny it a kill at the start of the next turn, and then kill it when you have a chance. Looks like it is going to be 3C clicked here as well. Well, no, it's not guaranteed. Yeah, there we go. It is 3C. Okay. So yeah, no shot that ever kills, especially with the way that Ironblood attacks. Well, no, that doesn't matter. It's just no way that Sanseas will kill all the way through Azusa. But now Azusa has no troops, but is going to look for a second kill. Of the options available, it's really only Puppet, which is still nice, right? Getting rid of Puppet makes Lucretia pretty bad. So that's probably what we'll see here. Yeah, there's really no other option. Almost dies to it. That would have been awkward. Unfortunately, doesn't get very much healing because of the Iron Blood thing. Not that it matters, you're still very dead to Lucretia. So now we've had Azusa has traded her life for a useless Mariandel and an actually pretty good puppet. So, all in all, you knew the Azusa was going to hurt you if you're Absoul, right? When you saw that get picked, it's kind of like, that's gonna suck. So all in all, though, that's pretty manageable as far as the damage that Azusa could have done. That's not bad. Right, there's still no answer to this Epsilon. TJS is going to dodge out of the way of it. Epsilon with the shield especially is going to be very, very problematic to get off the field. Now we get some more positioning. I guess it wasn't, but I wonder if at some point this Werner's going to debate defense stance and then just go in and kill someone with attack stance. Although I don't know if you actually can do anything reasonable here. Well, I mean, you can kill Archon out of water, right? If you have the fixed damage. There's no way to get fixed damage, though. Right, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. He was out of range anyways. And another teleport is ready. Go, Archon. Kill something. Endurance formation. Gonna try and actually survive here. So Archon is able to hit the Epsilon with his hook to break shield. However, hitting him with the hook will not displace him, which means that you don't break shield. Oh, that's right. Endurance formation blocks displacement, which stops Archon's act again. So actually, endurance formation, incredible there. We'll see if Maddie remembers that mechanic. Probably, though. So this Archon really can't do anything at all here. Endurance formation stops him from hooking any of these units. So, you know, you're not going to get an act again. You're not going to get your water buff or anything like that. And you're just food for Epsilon if you go in here. Yeah, so he just immediately backs off. Epsilon's setting up, looking for anything he can find. Boro at 4 stacks has been ignored all game. We'll see if that's relevant. Oboro is like probably the only way to actually poke this Epsilon, especially now that defense formation is on the field. Right, you can't really poke him with Archon and then kill him. So it's really just Oboro 3C AoE here. It's kind of like the only thing that can touch Epsilon, get him out of shield and let someone else kill him. Yeah, we're gonna have to spend a little bit of time positioning before we get ready for that. Fog's got to force everyone into close range. Epsilon will keep poking forward like this to hide, but never actually has to commit to anything. This is probably Oboro kills Lucretia, pokes Epsilon. Right, so you kill Lucretia, poke Epsilon, and the reason that Absol's doing it now, or not Absol, the reason that Maddie is doing this now is he wants to, or they want to just follow up and actually kill the Epsilon immediately, right? Could do this at the end of turn, or closer to the end of turn, so there's less options to respond, but I think the guess is that this is in defense stance anyways. So it's really just Ironblood who can respond here. If Ironblood responds, she almost certainly just kills herself doing so. And then you get 2 free kills out of the Boro and exposes Epsilon. So, not a bad move at all. Oh, not killing Lucretia, killing Ironblood here. Gonna AoE down into the Werner then. Oh, what do you know? Hey, remember when I said it'd be funny if Werner was debating at some point? Werner was debating right now. He's dead for it. So that's a trade. Yep, Werner was pretending to be in defense stance. It was actually just offense the entire time. So still have to get through this Lucretia. Not that big a deal though, because you got the puppet off the field earlier. Epsilon is just sitting duck to die to Iron Blood. This should be pretty free at this point. Right, I mean, you can literally just walk up, Tidal Surge, and kill the Lucretia. Oh, Epsilon's still hiding. You actually can't hit him. That's right, because he got his HP back. So you get to kill this. And now Epsilon gets to take a kill. But that should be him out of... Yeah, no more displacement immunity, no shield because it was broken last turn. Archon now has his act again ready to just hook him, right, stand on the forest, hook him up, and then kill him. Or T-Jess also reaches. That works too. Goodbye, Epsilon. All right. So yeah, Maddie able to make good use of turn priority there. Get some good value out of Azusa at the start of the game. And get a pretty clean win from it. Okay, so let's see. Backups. Goodbye again, Archon. Welcome back, Kyra. And then we have a Leon and an Autocrato coming in. So, pivoting back into the AoE plan, right? Leon, really more of an AoE unit. Well, I guess he's single target. On this map, you're kind of looking to 3C single target someone, hoping to ban out the tanks again, right? And then just bop someone with 3C and then maybe get some cheese with the afterwards AoE. Autocrato, very much an AoE unit. It's actually very nice to see this Jukor dip out for Maddie. Sissy comes back in. The healers go out because the healers did not do anything, right? These healers really only were helpful when Absoul could pick a tank. But since Maddie showed that he was willing to just ban the tanks in that scenario and make the healers useless, the healers just immediately leave. No reason to be here. Nothing to see here. Moving on. Lost and Ban, this is probably his best map, so if you're scared of high mobility units, yeah, ban Lost him. That doesn't mean you give up Wet him, so we'll see if Maddie is actually... Right, we'll see if this unit is actually so strong that it's worth picking over Iron Blood. Again, don't know these boxes nearly as well as the people who play them, so... Yeah, against my box personally, Wetham's not nearly as much of an issue as Iron Blood. Could be much more of a problem here, though. Away goes the tank, making this Leon good, and immediately picking the Leon. So I believe this is one of the maps where Leon can just run at you turn one and kill anyone in the corners. Because he should get to start here. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, it's from here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mech Knights give you 2 free. And then click Chivalry, Mech Knights give you 2 free. 1, 2, 3. So you can actually get pretty far in. Right, you can hit, what, all 5 of these tiles? So something's guaranteed to be in Leon range on the first turn. So getting rid of the healers here means that Leon should be guaranteed to hit something at the very least. That being said, if it's a Wetham, he might not kill it. Especially if it's BB Leon. And Absoul has turn priority to try and to maneuver as necessary to avoid this. Also, anyone that brings Lancer troops will stop that particular play. So we see a bunch of single target units that don't ignore guard. Hilda gets picked up as a result. There are still some assassins in play. However, these assassins require crits to do anything. Again, Iron Blood boost can actually mess with that kind of mentality quite a bit. This is a fairly okay defensive pick. But at the same time, it feels a little bit at odds with the Leon, right? Leon's looking to just kind of run in and kill something immediately. Though I guess he has plenty of zoning pressure if he just wants to stand in the back for, 5 turns, he can. He's probably the most mobile thing on the field. Meanwhile, everyone else can kind of push up with Hildegard. So we'll see how that plays out. No healer here. So one of the awkward things that Maddie's going to run into is as soon as he does go in to trade something off, if he's not killing yttaM immediately, then yttaM marks something, right? yttaM marks 3 units on his side, and then this Hilda's just completely useless. Because, you know, you trade 1 unit off, you have 3 left plus Hilda. So 2 of your 3 important units are now just going to die to yttaM at some point. So that can definitely be a huge problem. Maybe that's why yttaM is so problematic for these boxes, is even when you pick a tank to try and counter him, it doesn't matter because you're playing such a trade heavy game and you don't have a healer to get rid of the despair. Epsilon pick, Azusa pick. Azusa is player 2, still nice. Not gonna have quite as abusable. Not gonna be quite as abusable as she was last game. Kyra, Epsilon both kind of hard against Hilda. But at the same time, if you go in with yttaM, hit someone who's marked to break the anti-crit aura, and then go in with these units, you're fine. Especially in this kind of a box, this Hilda is going to be moving first basically every turn, which means that if you break the aura early in the turn, you just have a free turn where you can do whatever you want. You can crit anyone. So that aura kind of, you expect it to do a lot more than it actually does in these scenarios frequently. Right, in order for crit aura to really be important, Hilda kind of has to be able to move last frequently. And that's not going to be the case here. Kruger pick is nice since you got rid of the healer, got rid of the Aboro so that you're not on a clock. So you can use this kind of mobility, use any debuffs you want to do. Autocrato gone though, so now there's not really enough AoE damage to be threatening, even without a healer, right? It's really just Kruger and a tiny bit from Leon. So, There's T-Jess. Gonna do T-Jess things and Elwyn. Okay. So we have Absoul starting out deployed along the back. It looks like, yep, Epsilon moves immediately. Why can't I pause? Okay, that's hang on, I gotta quit out and come back in. The replay machine is broken. Oops, spoilers. Look away, ah. We gotta get through the last couple games. Hopefully the replay machine won't be broken again. Do. Let me out. Let me out. Okay. Skip preps and we're off. So again, Leon here, able to hit. Wait for Elwyn to finish. Able to hit this arc here. So all 5 of these tiles. So Absol positions all his units out of that range, except for Epsilon, who's going to immediately back off. Right? Does not want to just lose a unit for free to Leon. Not gonna risk that, yttaM actually dies. This is a Swordsmith yttaM though, so he is quite tanky. So, maybe he lives in Leon, maybe not. If I was the Leon, I probably wouldn't feel too comfortable going after it. That being said, it's probably fine. This Leon has a lot of attack. Yeah, so Epsilon immediately dips, denying Leon an instant engage, which gives Absol time to do any kind of positioning that he actually wants to do. The other option that you could have gone for there as Absol is you could leave Ironblood in this spot with the Lancer troops, because the Lancer troops should completely wall out double Cav Leon. I want to say even Amazons. I want to say. I can't say with certainty because I've not run this matchup. I never play with or against Leon to know for certain. But I've definitely seen double cav units with lots of attack just bounce off of Lancer troops, even Amazons before. So that's the other option, is you could potentially leave a Lancer, someone with Lancer troops in one of these spots. If the Leon engages, he does get to AoE you. On this team, the AoE's not that big of a deal. On others, it might be. So it's just kind of a match-by-match thing. But yeah, this is definitely something to watch out for. It's this map and the Canyon map. It's not called Canyon. The one that has the sky tiles at the top and bottom, right? There's like a couple of sky tiles here and here. Whatever that map is called. That is also one where Leon can engage on the first turn. That one, Leon can only reach exactly this tile or exactly this tile, but again, it's something that you need to be aware of. If your opponent picks Leon, on this map, they have 5 tiles that they can hit immediately. On whatever that other sky map, not sky map, it's not sky map, but what is the name of that? Broken Cliffs, yeah. If you're on Broken Cliffs, these 2 tiles are what to be wary of. Welcome in, Zuko. Glad you approve. All right. So yeah, Epsilon dips. Kruger chucks a virus on Ironblood because she's guaranteed to stay near the team, and we're off. Even from back here, I believe Kyra can reach... Yeah, so Kyra can reach Leon, so we'll probably see Leon just kind of step up out of the way here. Yeah, you do not want to get your Leon killed for free. Again, Maddie is definitely going to be in trouble this game if even a single unit goes down before yttaM is dead. That could just cause you such huge problems immediately. Because then you just give yttaM so much free reign. And we're going to guarantee that a unit dies. Yeah, with the TGS here, you were never avoiding this, Kyra. That's unfortunate. Because, yeah, Leon had to preemptively move away, or else he was guaranteed to die to Kyra immediately. But once he's moved, you know where he is. You know that he can't come out and kill you for teleporting aggressively, so you just teleport aggressively and go kill him anyways. And that gets rid of this massive mobility piece. So that's kind of where a combination of all 3 of these units, right? A super high mobility assassin, Ironblood, giving you even more mobility on that high mobility. Specifically, Kyra as the assassin hitting into your int, or hitting into your magic defense here, which is significantly worse. Because if this is, I mean, the problem is your other options are what? Werner and yttaM. yttaM could potentially fail to kill, but yttaM just stuns your tank if he thinks he's going to fail to kill, which is not great. And Werner wouldn't fail to kill anyways. Werner would at least have a setup turn, but then Werner also gets to bring Lancer troops, so you can't actually stop him from setting up in your face. So yeah, it's bad times. And really the only way to avoid that is banning this TGS. This is the only unit that was ever bannable out of this little combination, was this TGS. But now you gotta deal with it. So we'll see. Right, guaranteeing that it's Leon getting attacked. Forest, Hilda Aura, doesn't matter, the Leon's just too squishy. That being said, that wasn't actually that much damage. That was what, 26k to 23? 24-ish? Yeah, 24. So I mean, Forest, Hilda Aura almost saves you here. If you're a little bit bulkier on the Leon, well, kind of a lot bulkier on the Leon. Or again, if you're going into something on the physical side, you can't actually live that. Because yeah, Kyra without crit is just so sad. Oh, no, never mind. We missed half the Sork attacks. Yeah, no, that wasn't close. Okay, that's more like what I expect to see. Yeah, that wasn't close at all. That was only half of Sork's damage, if even. So yep. Yep, nope, just get absolutely annihilated there. Wasn't even the strong skill either. And now you're in a really bad spot, right? Let's see, Elwyn got marked. Elwyn gets rid of the mark immediately, so that's fine. Kruger did not get marked. That's very lucky. Right, actually got very lucky with where these marks landed. One on Elwyn that could get dispelled immediately. One on Hilda that doesn't matter. And then, you know, the other mark was guaranteed to do something. But I guess it would be better if it was on Kruger. Kruger could also get it off with shield quicker. Right, Zeus is going to have to just kind of live with this mark for a while. That being said, there's not really any way to get AoE damage. Right, there's not any way to get any chip damage onto these units for this mark to actually become viable. So, as long as you play a little bit back, Maddie should still be guaranteed to just get rid of this mark before it's actually relevant. The next unit that dies, that's not going to be the case because we're going to be a lot closer to each other. So that's when it's really going to be a problem that this yttaM exists. Because, I mean, we just had an assassin get teleported forward. Hey, guess what's going to happen next turn? An assassin's going to teleport forward. An assassin that you can't touch is going to teleport forward and take a kill. I guess you can actually... I mean, you can at least hit him. Right? You can get Kruger to hit him and hope to strip exactly faction buff and stop him from killing you. But oh boy. Ooh, that's a tenuous breeze. Hey, remember what I was saying about there wasn't a way to get AoE damage into these units? Yeah, I lied, as it turns out. Whoopsies. Now this won't kill. This won't even come close to killing, actually. Right, the only targets are Elwyn, which you can't kill because it's got a revive. And Azusa, you can guard ignore to hit. But you will never kill Azusa. Double Holy, all your damage is steel mains, right? That just... You lose all your steel mains and don't even come close. Hitting the Hilda could be okay, but there's second guard here anyways. Ironblood's still far away to take advantage of this. T-Jess is far... Well, T-Jess jumps to the sword. Yeah, hitting the Hilda's alright, but all she has to do is just set up guard immediately. She can't set up guard immediately. And you have the mark blocking passive guard, so that's probably a free T-Jess into Kruger. Yeah, that's not bad. Does go for the Azusa instead. Again, it's not even close to killing. Never will be. However, it's really obnoxious for Azusa to kill this now. So, basically, getting heal reversed means that Azusa can't click 3C and also can never activate her talent. She has to wait this off before she can activate her talent, or she just kills herself. And if you click 3C, 3C has post-combat healing, so again, you just kill yourself. Not going to be a problem for killing the yttaM, will be a problem for the follow-up, though. And again, T-Jess... This is also a really obnoxious position for Maddie here. If you step up to kill this yttaM with Azusa, T-Jess jumps here, walks up, kills your Elwyn. Because your Elwyn's out of guard. If you step down to keep Elwyn revive and kill this yttaM, T-Jess teleports up, walks down, kills your Azusa, because you're not in guard. So there's no way to have everyone in guard here. This Hilda's a little bit out of position, right? Being up here instead of just like right there. Right, Maddie was prioritizing keeping the Elwyn, keeping the Elwyn revive active with the threat of teleport assassin at the start of the turn. And I believe these moves were made before the tenuous breeze, which means, yeah. So these were the correct moves at the time. Right, in this scenario, yeah, this is the right move. Give your Elwyn his revive. Right, don't block out your own revive. And then, you know, this assassin at the very least can't kill Elwyn, can't kill Azusa. So you can hit him with Kruger at the start of the turn and then hope. However, this tenuous breeze completely changed that dynamic, right? Right, so now all of a sudden this is actually a huge liability. You have to move Kruger because otherwise Kruger just dies for free. But moving Kruger means Azusa's in the wrong spot. You're going to give yttaM a really, really nice attack. That's where we are. That's a dead Azusa. Why did you 3C? You're not dead, are you? But you go to like 20. Yeah, ow. And Elwyn doesn't have revive. So deciding to keep Azusa here, giving up the Elwyn. I think with the heal reversal, that's actually incorrect. I think you always keep Elwyn here. Because Azusa doesn't have shield, so you're already dead to the assassin now. You can't get your shield for another turn. So I think this was the wrong unit to pick to keep. I think it would have been better to give up Azusa and go down. Goodbye, Elwyn. You have died. Attack debuffs. Elwyn on grassland for his unicorns. Doesn't matter. Right? No buff. Doesn't matter. Very, very dead. So Kruger's going to go in here, try and shut this down. Yeah, unit blocking the Epsilon from actually hitting Azusa here is very nice. Does not get the faction buff, unfortunately, but now Epsilon cannot actually touch your Azusa. Or no, yes he can. For some reason I thought he needed these tiles. Nope, oh, Epsilon just goes in and kills Azusa. Never mind, that was not the play. I guess you were guaranteed to lose something to Epsilon though anyways. Right, if you move Azusa down, Epsilon comes in and kills your Kruger. If you keep Azusa, or if you do this with Kruger, Azusa dies. That being said, Azusa just wins this game. I think Maddie actually could have won here. So I think if you step down with Azusa, right, you just get out of range of this killing you. This comes in, it kills Kruger, whatever. No, it's gonna happen. Then you're in a position where it's 2 units that need to get through guard versus a Hilda that's very good at not letting them get through guard. And an Azusa that can just be standing back here, killing a unit every turn. And I think you can actually outclock Absoul by doing that. Right, because it basically, you'll have 3C at the start of the turn. You do have to dispel the shield. That's the only awkward part. You have Kruger exclusive and Azusa 3C, and it has to dispel a shield. If it doesn't dispel a shield, you lose immediately. But if you're able to do that, so you have Hilda plus Azusa standing here, or yeah, standing like that or something. You start the turn, Azusa kills Epsilon, goes back to full HP. Azusa maybe kills Epsilon. That's the other thing. Azusa maybe kills Epsilon. Right, Azusa maybe kills Epsilon, goes back to full HP, that part's guaranteed. Then, Ironblood's not in range to do anything this turn, so TJS hits you once. But unbuff TJS with Holy Light's not going to 100 to 0 Hilda. You chill with Hilda. Start of the next turn, push Hilda up, probably killing the sword. Take a kill with Azusa as they double into Hilda, killing Hilda. And then you have turn priority again and you get the last kill with Azusa. I think you can actually get it. If you can kill this Epsilon, which is a big if. Is a big if for certain, from 28% Azusa. And this is where clicking 3C earlier might have screwed him. Clicking 3C on yttaM and hitting himself back for, 8,000 or something. Might have made it so that you don't kill Epsilon here. But if you can get this Epsilon kill, Azusa can definitely 1v3 here. Right, Hilda will buy you just enough time to do that. That being said, I feel like you're going to miss this kill at this point. Especially because you had to go physical. That was the other thing, is this needed to be physical attack into yttaM for that to work. Because physical attack into Epsilon is not going to kill him. Right, it needs to be magic into Epsilon, but you also need to get your shield back to get fully healed. And to have the mobility to actually do things next turn. So I think with the earlier moves that were made around this yttaM, right, I think physical here should be enough to kill yttaM. Because you get, this is Twilight, right? Yeah, so you get the Twilight proc, he goes to 85. At that point, his troops are insta-dead. He only has 15% reduction. I feel like physical hit is probably enough. So it probably would have had to be physical hit here, get the kill on yttaM, then magical hit, kill the Epsilon. You still have the heal reversal when you're... No, you don't have the heal reversal when you're killing Epsilon. Yeah. You don't have the heal reversal. You kill Epsilon with the magical hit because you're still at 80%. Right, you still have this much HP. A little bit less than I was thinking. So it still might not be enough, but I think that's your best chance if you're going to play to Azusa. If you're going to play to Azusa, that's what you need to do. The other option is, again, go down here and keep Elwyn, right? Give up Azusa to TJS, keep Elwyn. I still feel like that might be the more consistent choice. It's definitely a lot better at dispelling Epsilon shield, that's for certain. But with where we are now, this should just be... So we're here, this should just be free kill Azusa, game over immediately. Oh, actually goes for the Kruger. That's surprising. Doesn't get the kill, shield, one hell of a drug. Azusa is not killing herself, okay, good. That was a pretty big miss by Absoul, actually. Why are you targeting this Kruger? Why is Epsilon doing that at all? Sure, Ironblood doesn't hit it this turn, but you can just like move up 2 and hit it next turn. Kruger's not going to kill your Epsilon. I feel like you always kill Azusa here. I'm really not sure why you would attempt Kruger and then fail it thanks to this damage down. Come on. It's the damage down, yeah. Damage down here, denying that kill on the shielded Kruger. Yeah, this is definitely the risky kill, right? You don't have crit. He's on a forest. He's shielded, so you can't break Sork's 100% reduction with your Twilight. And you have a damage down. It's like if you're going to look at a kill that could fail, this is the one that could fail. This one will never fail. This one will never fail. This will always stop Azusa from ever coming back into the game. Because clicking 3C here, now your 3C is gone as well. This Azusa can actually get back in the game here. So that seems like very, very the wrong play. Skill here from Azusa, completely unnecessary, but your other skill's off cooldown anyway, so who cares? Oh, you were in range with Ironblood. Yeah, Ironblood just killed this for free. Why were you attacking it with Epsilon? Why did you ever care about hitting this with Epsilon? That's such a weird play. So Azusa misses that kill because she's too low on HP from where she hit herself on yttaM. Again, clicking 3C into the yttaM has just really, really ruined this Azusa. That'd be, what, 5 more monks, right? 'Cause she was at 60%. So she has 2 monks here, 60%. Actually, 60% would be 6 monks, so 4 more. That might be enough damage to get this kill. You're still going physical hit, which you don't want again. Right, you very much want to be doing magical hit here, not physical. So again, clicking magic into yttaM, kind of coming back to bite you. You might have needed magic to kill yttaM, but I really don't feel like you did. Just because monks should be insta-killing werewolves. You don't have a buff, you're only 5-star. Maybe you actually don't kill yttaM without the magical hit, but it's definitely hurting you that you did magical hit before and you're having to do physical now. Especially since you didn't guard with Hilda here, so you can't just like step up and punch the TJS in melee. Right, you have to do a ranged attack, which means you have to hit Ironblood. So back up to 100%. This shield's going to be difficult to break, right? Epsilon still needs a few turns to get 3C back. More than a few. He's passive blocked, so he hasn't been getting any cooldown reduction at all. It's going to take these units a while to get through Hilda. So this is still a pretty good spot for Maddie to be in, right? You have at least 2 more turns before... Why are you over there? I guess you can't get hit. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I feel like in this scenario, silence T-Jess, I feel like you just kill Ironblood here. Right? I feel like you just... Maybe even you just melee attack her, right? Don't even click the skill, just go punch her in the face. You probably need to click the skill to not take infinite counter damage, though. Can Hilda ram her? Right, because if this comes up to punch your Azusa, you just go up and kill it. Then you're dead to Epsilon. I don't know, this feels odd. This feels like an odd kill. Also gets crit, Lamau. Absolutely blasted. So now Epsilon's actually gonna have time to get his 3C back. Failing that kill on Ironblood means you don't have 3C here to dispel the shield with. So now you have to hit the Epsilon twice as well. God, that's a lot of missing HP on troops. You might just be dead to Epsilon. Not if you're on a tower. If you're on a tower with Hilda Aura, you will live. He's not actually hiding because he's at 98% here, and you're not on a tower anymore. That is going to be a dead Azusa, isn't it? Yep. Ooh, no, not quite. But Hilda's trapped out. Is Guard Dispel incoming? Maybe. Oh, Guard Dispel already happened. Wait, how did Guard get dispelled? Did it just time out? Oh, it just timed out. Yeah. Yeah, it just timed out. Right, last turn of Guard here. Means that the move was probably... What, Hilda up? Yeah, this can't hit you to break your Guard. Or to break your crit aura, so you go Hilda up here. And then Azusa still doesn't have a good hit. But maybe then, right, Ironblood would move first. So you go Hilda up, Ironblood moves, and then you're able to like go to this city wall under Hilda aura, hit the Epsilon, break his shield. If he breaks your shield, you step back, kill him, and get shield back. Ironblood breaks your shield. And then you kill Ironblood at the start of the turn before Fog matters. You can probably pull that off. So her 3C guard and 2C guard, they do not stack. No. 3C guard overwrites 2C guard. 2C guard does not overwrite 3C guard because 2C guard is 2 turns. 3C guard is 3 turns. When a buff is applied, it checks if you have a higher quality existing buff before it applies it. If you have a higher quality existing buff, it does not overwrite. Because 3C, with its full duration, lasts an extra turn, it is treated as a higher quality buff. It does not take into account remaining turns on the buff. That is how you lose guard here. That's how Ares loses attack buff if you faction buff him when you click 3C. That's how, like, if you have Leon running Chivalry plus faction buff, you can lose attack buff after clicking Chivalry. That's something to pay attention to, is certain buffs are treated as higher quality than others. A really odd example of this to definitely watch out for is Tenyo's buffs are treated as higher quality than Gospel, which means that if you have a Gospel if you have a unit with a plushie and a gospel, click gospel on someone, even though it should be 3 turns because of the plushie, if Tenyos applies the same buff, it will actually overwrite because it does not check that it was applied by a plushied unit, because it doesn't check the remaining turns. It checks the buff itself, and it sees buff itself is lower quality than I am, overwrite, and it goes down to 2 turns. So you can actually lose a turn off of your plushie gospels from Tenyos if you get unlucky. Seen it happen before. Just weird interactions like that. They just exist. You gotta deal with them. Only way to deal with them is to know that they exist. Yeah, so guard here does not overwrite. You do not get guard, and Azusa just dies. Yeah, the 10-year one you didn't actually know. Yep. That's why, like, sometimes I've seen it on, like, my own units, but sometimes you'll see, like, you'll click gospel on someone, and they'll have, like, the attack buff, the defense buff, and then the immunity in that order. And then Tenyos will go off, and all of a sudden the attack buff will be at the end. So it'll go defense buff, immunity, attack buff. And that means that your attack buff was overwritten by Tenyos. So Tenyos came in, applied an attack buff to your gospel unit, overrode it, and the new one got applied at the end. So that's one way to, even if you don't have a plushie, you can actually see that happening. I think you've seen Grenier 3C not trump Lance Phalanx. I think those are 2 separate buffs, though, because Lance Phalanx is physical guard only, but Grenier 3C is Omni Guard, correct? Which are 2 separate buffs. You can actually have both, by the way. You can have physical guard and Omni Guard simultaneously, because they're different. It's like if you ever bring Lance Phalanx on Hilda, you can have the physical only guard from Lance Phalanx and 3C guard, because they're 2 separate buffs. But anyways, this, so yeah, this little guard mishap is going to result in a dead Azusa. And at this point, Hilda's actually stuck in the fog. This map is horrible about getting stuck in the fog. Because basically all you can do here is you walk onto a fort, and then Absoul will put a unit in the center and put a unit standing in front of you. And so you can't go in now, so you have to walk up to the other fort, and the other unit just moves up. So yeah, this map is horrible about getting stuck out in the fog for any 3-move unit. It's so bad. It's so bad for that. Yeah, unfortunate interaction for Maddie here means that the game is over. I guess actually there's only 1 unit, so Hilda can always get in out of the fog. You're winning in damage. The issue is you won't be for very long. And... oh, still winning in damage. Click the 3C, get a little bit of extra damage up. But you get attacked here, and then you get 3C'd later. Yeah, it's not enough of a damage lead. Alright, because I think Epsilon has 3C on this turn. Yeah, so he's going to click 3C into you for free. Rack up all the damage he wants. He gets to faction buff first as well. Right, and so he's always getting like 12k damage on every attack. Ooh, Thorns, very nice. So he's building like 12k. Now it's actually in Absoul's favor by like 12. So Maddie's forced to attack and just dies. That would have been really funny, actually, if Maddie hadn't attacked there. Absoul could have looked at the damage, seen that he was ahead by 12, and then just ended turn in 1. But yeah, so that is that game. Just barely going Absol's way. I think there was definitely potential for Maddie to actually pull that off. It would have been very reliant on that Azusa being very good and actually getting a lot of kills. So it still might not have worked. It really depends on whether Azusa would be getting the kills that she needs. But very, very close overall. So that's it for the first review. Oh, YouTube outro. Yeah, so that's it for Absoul versus Maddie. I'll see you guys next time, I guess. Bye.